Hey, Two Cities. Today is day 4 of our 1 week of prayer and fasting for revival. And I want to take just a second and teach a little bit today for those of you who are going to physically deprive yourself of food or sacrifice something very good and very important in your life with me this week as we ask the Holy Spirit to send revival. And I don't mean send revival to Two Cities Church. I mean, send revival to our hearts and then to Jesus's church universal. Let me explain this statement that I put on the screens to describe the Sunday sermon. Revival cannot be worked up. It must be prayed down. I actually had the order reversed on Sunday, but you get the idea. I've been in churches where they did revival services, and what they said is, we're going to bring in a guest speaker and we're going to hold revival. And I've always struggled with that language because it made me wonder, how can you force the Holy Spirit to do a supernatural work, something that only God can do? I described the desolate spiritual wasteland of Asbury University many years ago, and the most unlikely place on earth that God would start to send revival. And that just shows us that it has to be God doing the initiating, God sending His Spirit, God pouring His Spirit out in very powerful ways, and you and I can't manufacture it. So when we fast, I said this 2 days ago, we're not twisting God's arm. We're not trying to put Him in a bind and God, you now owe me because I'm doing something really awesome for you. No, what we're saying is, God, we're asking you, we're so desperate for you that we're willing to deprive ourselves of something because this is how much it means to us. And that's why we're praying and fasting for revival. But let me make sure I explain something that I was only able to hit very quickly on Sunday. Revival only happens in the church. Revival cannot happen in the streets with people who are far from Jesus or don't know Jesus. Revival literally means to make alive again something that God has already made alive, which means revival is when God breathes new life into dry bones. The dry bones, of course, being our hearts or His church. And revival has to begin in the church. Now, I believe that when revival genuinely hits the church, people outside the church see something is going on here that cannot be explained away. And then lots and lots of people experience spiritual awakening. That means the Holy Spirit redeems people and makes them born again because of what they're already seeing in the church. But revival is a church word. It is for church people. It's when God breathes new life into an old church of dry bones. If you want to use this kind of analogy, maybe the best way to describe this is Jesus' language in the Gospels when He says, nobody puts new wine into old wineskins. Because if you put new wine into old wineskins, those wineskins are going to burst. No, what you do is you put new wine into new wineskins. And then Jesus said, I came to be the new wine, and my church needs new wineskins. And I'm going to pour my Spirit out on my church. They will have new wineskins, and they will have new wine in that new wineskins, and it will be new, it will be awesome, it will be beautiful, even for people to witness that are not part of the church. So I'm just asking you right now, instead of praying for your lost neighbor, and it's really hard for me to use that language, would you pray for your soul? Would you pray for the dry souls of people that know Jesus, but have just turned around and walked away from Him, or maybe been dry with Jesus for a long time? Would you pray that God would send revival into your heart and into His church this week? Thank you for fasting with me. Thank you for praying with me for revival, not just on college campuses and universities around the United States, for this revival to spread to His church universal. And I hope you have a great day. God bless.